When the final whistle blew at Eden Park, much of the conversation centered on another impressive performance from the All Blacks, but one moment in the second half quickly became one of the most debated incidents of the entire match. What initially looked like a split-second defensive play by Quinn Tupaea soon evolved into a major talking point across the rugby world, with former international referee Nigel Owens, former Ireland captain Peter O'Mahony, and countless fans offering very different opinions about whether the officials had made the correct decision. It was one of those moments that reminded everyone just how difficult modern rugby officiating has become, where every movement is reviewed from multiple angles and every decision is examined long after the game has ended. The match itself had already produced plenty of excitement. The All Blacks were in complete control for long stretches of the contest, building an impressive lead against Ireland with fast attacking rugby, disciplined defense, and clinical finishing. Their confidence grew as the game progressed, and by the time the second half reached the hour mark, they held a commanding 35-14 advantage. Ireland, however, refused to surrender. Like every top international side, they continued searching for opportunities to attack, determined to finish strongly regardless of the scoreboard. That determination led to one of the defining moments of the evening. As Ireland shifted the ball wide through quick hands, Quinn Tupaea spotted what appeared to be a possible intercept opportunity. Instead of staying in the defensive line, the New Zealand centre launched himself toward the pass, stretching out with one hand in an attempt to gather possession. It was a split-second decision that could have produced one of the great defensive turnovers if successful. Instead, the ball struck his hand, bounced away, and remained in Irish possession before play was stopped. Immediately, referee Nic Berry recognized that the incident required careful consideration. The question was not simply whether the ball had been touched deliberately. It was whether the attempted interception had illegally prevented a genuine attacking opportunity for Ireland. After consulting the available angles and considering the circumstances, Berry ruled that Tupaea had committed a deliberate knock-on. The penalty itself was relatively straightforward. The real debate centered on whether the offense deserved an additional yellow card. The referee ultimately decided against sending the New Zealand centre to the sin bin. His explanation was based on the defensive structure of the All Blacks. In his view, there were still enough defenders positioned outside Tupaea to prevent Ireland from making a clean line break. Since he believed a probable line break had not been illegally prevented, he concluded that a penalty alone was sufficient. The decision allowed Tupaea to remain on the field, and play continued. For many watching live, the incident appeared settled. Rugby often produces marginal calls, and supporters are accustomed to referees making difficult judgments under enormous pressure. But as television replays continued and analysts reviewed the footage from several different angles, opinions quickly became divided. Among those offering detailed analysis was legendary former international referee Nigel Owens, one of the most respected officials the game has ever seen. Known for his calm approach, deep understanding of the laws, and willingness to explain difficult decisions, Owens approached the incident not from the perspective of supporting either team but from the viewpoint of how the laws should be applied. Speaking during World Rugby's Whistle Watch alongside former British and Irish Lions star Jamie Roberts, Owens carefully explained why he believed the officials had only completed half of the correct decision. According to Owens, the first part of the decision was entirely correct. He agreed that Quinn Tupaea had deliberately knocked the ball forward after failing to complete the interception. In modern rugby, players are allowed to attempt interceptions, but those attempts come with significant risk. If the defender catches the ball cleanly, play continues without issue. However, if the player reaches for the pass, fails to secure possession, and knocks the ball forward deliberately, the referee must consider sanctions beyond simply awarding a penalty. Owens explained that players understand this risk every time they gamble on an interception. If they succeed, they can completely change the momentum of a match. If they fail, they accept the possibility of punishment. That balance is one of rugby's defining features. The laws encourage positive play while discouraging cynical actions that unfairly deny attacking opportunities. In this case, Owens believed the officials correctly recognized the deliberate knock-on but failed to apply the next stage of the law. The crucial issue, in his opinion, was whether Ireland had lost a genuine line break opportunity. After examining the replay, Owens concluded that they had. He argued that if Tupaea had not stretched for the ball, the Irish attack would likely have continued into open space with significant territory available ahead. While nobody can predict with complete certainty whether a try would have been scored, the opportunity itself was substantial enough to justify stronger punishment. That distinction is important. Referees are not asked to predict certain tries. Instead, they evaluate whether illegal play has prevented a promising attacking movement. According to Owens, that standard had been met. He summarized his position by explaining that the penalty decision was correct, but the sanction should have been completed with a yellow card because an illegal action had removed a clear attacking opportunity. His comments immediately attracted widespread attention throughout the rugby community. Whenever Nigel Owens offers an opinion on officiating, people listen carefully because of his years of experience at the highest level of international rugby. Even those who disagreed with his interpretation acknowledged the detailed reasoning behind his explanation. At the same time, others defended Nic Berry's original decision. Supporters of the referee pointed out that rugby decisions often depend on positioning, defensive numbers, and whether supporting defenders remain capable of stopping the attack. They argued that Berry had assessed the overall defensive picture rather than focusing solely on the attempted interception itself. From that perspective, the referee's decision reflected his judgment that Ireland still faced multiple defenders capable of shutting down the attack. Because those defenders remained in place, he believed the threshold for a yellow card had not been reached. That difference in interpretation perfectly illustrates why rugby officiating remains one of the sport's most challenging responsibilities. The laws themselves provide guidance, but every incident also depends on context, positioning, timing, and the referee's interpretation of what would likely have happened if play had continued. Two experienced officials can examine the same replay and legitimately reach different conclusions while still applying the laws honestly. That is precisely what appeared to happen following the incident involving Quinn Tupaea. While Nic Berry believed the remaining defenders reduced the severity of the offence, Nigel Owens believed the attacking opportunity had already become significant enough to require a yellow card. Neither viewpoint questioned the commitment or integrity of the other. Instead, they highlighted how fine the margins can be in elite international rugby. For players, these moments serve as important reminders that split-second decisions carry enormous consequences. An attempted interception may create a match-winning turnover, but if executed unsuccessfully, it can just as easily place the player, and sometimes the entire team, under intense scrutiny. In this case, Quinn Tupaea found himself at the center of one of the biggest refereeing debates of the nation's championship, proving once again that in modern Test rugby, a single moment can dominate headlines long after the match itself has ended.